Hello everyone, my name is Ron Whittington, and today I'm going to go over how to curve your golf ball in the case that you are stuck behind a tree or any other kind of object. That way you have more options than just a simple punch out. You'll be able to ideally move your golf ball either right to left or left to right, depending on the situation that you're in. So to go over that, there are two options: your pre-swing setup as well as your manipulation of the club head. One is an active action and the other is a passive, okay? So first we're gonna go over the draw, that right to left movement. So to begin with, when you do this, if you are rotating your club face counterclockwise, it is gonna close that face off and it's gonna take some of the loft out of your club. So if you hit your 9-iron 150 yards, you may have to scale back to that pitching wedge, because when you take that loft out, it's going to hit closer to that 9-iron distance, okay? So for that, I am going to be using my pitching wedge. We're going to go for a 150 shot. And behind me, we do have a blue marker that's going to resemble our tee, because like many driving ranges, they don't have trees right in the middle of their golf range, okay? So that's what we're going to use to signify our tree to manipulate the golf ball to go around. And so with that, we are going to start with the more active one, which is that in-swing movement. So what that is, to go over it, you're gonna set up your feet out to the right of this blue marker. For me, I'm gonna do about 10 yards out to the right of it, okay? And your club face will also line up on that same line, because the movement for this swing is gonna be during your swing, you're gonna do your hand rotation. So what that looks like is when you come through your hands, you're gonna go off of your lead hand's thumb. Okay, we need that to rotate to 10 o'clock when it finishes, okay? So when you're swinging, you come through and that hand is gonna be pointing at 10 o'clock. That's gonna get us our right to left movement. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate that one first, and then I'll go over the passive one, which is that pre-club head manipulation, getting that set up before you even get into your swing, okay? So as I discussed, my feet are lining up 10 yards to the right of that blue and white marker, and then my club face for this swing is going to line up in that same direction, because the movement is going to be with the club head through the swing, okay? So with the setup, and we got to go right around that blue and white marker, and as you can see, my thumb for my lead hand is right at 10 o'clock. So with that one, again, remember, you're going to be taking loft out of your club. So if your 9-iron hits 150 and that's your target, you're going to want to go down a club so you're not hitting it 160 with that 9-iron and going over your target area, whether that is the green, the flag, or a layup area for your approach shot, depending on what your situation is. So that is the active in-swing option you have. The other one, as I said, is setting up before you even take your swing. So there is a significant difference, but the similarity is you're still gonna set your feet up, aimed out to the right. So again, we're gonna do the 10 yards out to the right. The club face this time, we're gonna rotate it counterclockwise, okay? So what that's gonna do, again, if you're looking, that's taking loft out of your golf ball, out of your club head towards the golf ball. So now, the big difference is that club face is going to point where you want your ball to go. Your target point, your target line, that right to left movement is going to get that ball back into that spot, okay? But obviously around that tree. So your club face is going to point where you want the golf ball to land, or your target point, okay? And it's going to look just like this. All right, so that is your right to left movement. Okay, now we're gonna look at your fade. So the fade is gonna be the opposite of what we just went over as far as your club choice. Okay, so we were taking loft out of it because we were rotating that club counterclockwise. So your shorter clubs would be playing longer. Now that's opposite. So now that same 150, I have to use that 9-iron to get it there because we're taking some of that loft out. We're opening that club face to get that left to right movement. So we still have the same two options. Your in-swing movement, which is rotating that hand out, However, with that one, what we're gonna be doing is, when we come through, we're gonna extend our hand and hold that position. Okay, we're gonna hold that actual 2 o'clock position this time for this one. So with that being said, when we come through, you're allowed to let that lead arm extend a little bit instead of wrapping up and around you right away. Let that get that movement going for that left to right. Our feet this time, we're gonna aim out at that yellow and white yardage marker to get it to come around that tree, okay? So this one will look slightly different, but the same basics are there. The fundamentals are the same. We're gonna open out left to right. So our feet are gonna be out to the left there towards that yellow marker. Our club face is gonna go in that same direction, just like with the draw. That fade is gonna point out to the left as well, because that in-swing movement is what's gonna get that ball to go left to right, okay? And that's how this is gonna look. And as you can see, thumb still pointing at 2 o'clock, getting that left to right movement, okay, to get you out and around that tree. So lastly, we have the pre-swing club head manipulation to get you in position before you even start your swing, okay? So again, it's very similar to your draw setup as far as the fundamentals of it. You're still gonna aim out left to right. However, this time we are keeping that club face open. So again, confirm your yardages. Obviously, if you're opening your club face, it's gonna play more closer to a pitching wedge distance now instead of that true 9-iron. So watch that distance so you can have an accurate target point, whether that is your green, whether the flag, or just a layup area to then go into your approach shot onto the green. So again, the same fundamentals is that club face needs to point at where you want it to land, your target point actual. So the club face is open and our feet are still out to the left. We have to keep that open to get that movement, okay? So as I set up, that's what our objective is here. We're still aiming at that yellow and white yardage marker. Now the club face, as you can see, is gonna be open to get closer behind where our target point is at 150, okay? So that swing is gonna look like this. The big thing is when you're opening and closing these club heads, get the face where you want it to be and then get that re-grip. Okay, you don't want to use your standard grip and just think you can open it up and it'll be fine, because more often than not you're going to go into a squared off stance when you hit the ball because your hands are still set up for a squared off face. So the steps are: get your feet in a good position, get that club face pointed where you want it to be, that target point. Then take your grip and then just kind of reconfirm your feeding. All right, and then go into your swing. Now you can see a little bit of left to right. So to recap everything, we went over your draw and your fade and how to manipulate it, okay? Again, the draw, you have two options, an active option and a passive. That active one is your in-swing movement, that hand rotation open to that 10 o'clock. When you get that hand open to 10 o'clock, it's gonna create that movement to make that ball go right to left around those trees. That passive one is setting it up ahead of time. Get your feet out to the right with your draw, but get that club face pointed out where you want the ball to land, that target point, okay? And then as you come through, ideally you'll get that right to left movement again, okay? And as you feel comfortable, you can manipulate it a little bit more and try working on getting how much of a draw you can have, because you don't want a 5-yard draw when you need a 30. So getting used to how to manipulate that once you feel comfortable with the basics of that right to left. Okay, and then summarizing again, that left to right movement, have your feet aimed out to the left of it. That way you free the ball flight to go left to right and work around that tree. The big thing with that, again, club face, it's gonna open up. So pick a club up from what you originally would need. If you do need that 9-iron for that 150 shot, since you're adding on loft, go up to maybe an 8. That way you can still get the yardage needed with that different club, since it is gonna be an open face. All right, So in summary, that's how you move your ball from right to left with a draw, as well as moving your ball left to right with that traditional fade. All right, thank you very much, and good luck.